What is up, Lorain County High School football fans? Welcome back to another episode of The Blitz, brought to you by our friends at First Federal Savings of Lorain. I'm your host, Rocco Nushi, the one and only Kristen Bauer behind the camera, and hard to believe, here we are in week 4 already. I mean, it is September, football is in full swing, college football back underway, NFL gets underway this weekend, so lots to be excited about, but of course our focus here is on the Lorain County High School football scene. So, let's go back to week 3 quickly and talk about the big winners from week 3 as our local teams wrapped up their non-conference action. We got to start with Avon, folks. Head coach Mike Elder and his Eagles, they knocked down the Ville. They beat Glenville 24-16. And how about quarterback Nolan Good, man? He just gets better each and every week, it seems. 3 touchdowns, over 250 passing yards, 86 rushing yards for Nolan. Just really kept that Eagle offense in control of the ball game as, again, they knocked off Glenville. It helps when you got playmakers like Cole Kepner and Jacorian Caffey as well, but Nolan is playing terrific football right now. We know Coach Elder thinks and talks very highly of him, so very excited to see what that young man can continue to do as the season goes on. But maybe player of the game and, responsible for play of the game is kicker Owen Warwick. Late in that contest, Avon was down a score. They go for an onside kick. Owen Warwick gets it back himself. Avon goes down the next possession. They score, kind of put the game on ice. And so Owen Warwick, just a really awesome play, recovering his own onside kick to help Avon knock off Glenville. Next up for the Eagles, they'll be at Elyria here in week 4. How about North Ridgeville elsewhere in the SWC? They moved to 3-0 with a last-second 20-17 win over North Royalton. Shout out to kicker Austin DeShazo for the Rangers, a 26-yard game winner, literally as time expired. So North Ridgeville, in dramatic fashion, off to another hot start this season. They're off to 3-0. But up next for Coach Brian Morgan and gang, it is Olmsted Falls. This is a bit of a test. Now, this is the kind of the stage of last season where Coach Morgan told us this is where we'll find out what our team is made of. And I think it's kind of the same story here this year. Can North Ridgeville prove that they've taken that step forward to compete with the big dogs in the SWC? It all kind of starts for them this Friday as they're at Olmsted Falls. In the Lorain County League, the lone undefeated team there, those Columbia Raiders, off to a 3-0 start. They throttled Northwestern 57-22. Didn't start very well, though, for Coach Jason Ward and his friends. Is kind of a sloppy first half, a lot of turnovers, a lot of miscues, but they step it up in the second half. Marco Sirigliano, he finishes with 4 rushing touchdowns, 3 of which came in that third quarter. So up next for Columbia, they'll be at Firelands this week. That's our radio and stream 1 game on WEOL. It's a rematch from the top 2 teams of a year ago. Of course, Columbia would go on to win the Lorain County League last season, but Firelands looking for some payback here this season. They'll play host to the Raiders this Friday night. Back in the SWC, Amherst. How about the Comets, folks? Head coach Tom Thome in his first season, they're 2-1 after they dismantled North Olmsted 41-13. Running back J.R. Byers, heck of a Friday night for him, 174 yards on the ground, 1 touchdown. Quarterback Cole Norris, an efficient game for him, 12 of 17 passing through the air, 157 yards in the touchdown. So the Comets, they're trying to prove themselves, in the SWC. They will be home against Midview this week, so certainly looking forward to that one in the SWC. And speaking of Midview, they knocked off their rival Elyria Catholic 21-13, a game you heard on WEOL this past Friday night. Michael Passarello for the Middies, over 100 yards on the ground, 1 touchdown for him. Ethan Elbert had 2 touchdowns, despite a bit of a tough passing night, only completed about 5 or 6 passes, but still, Ethan, a good game. And again, they'll be at Amherst this Friday, so a really good SWC contest there. And a couple of others moving to 2-1. Clearview, Brookside, Black River, and Vermilion. Congrats to all of them. They moved to 2-1. As for the big losers from week 3, both Elyria regimes, or both new Elyria regimes, I should say, off to 0-3 starts. Both the Pioneers and the Panthers of Elyria Catholic, 0-3 on the new season. Again, EC, they lost to Midview 21-13. Elyria got blasted by Akron East 35-0. So, again, both new regimes here in the city of Elyria looking for their first win here in week 4. Avon Lake, they fell to Chardon 28-10. Tough one for the Shoremen on the road against those, perennial powerhouse Hilltoppers. And Lorain, man, a heartbreaker for Coach Damian Creel and his Titans. They fall to Sandusky 30-23. Titans still at 2-1, so a really nice start to their season. I know they were hoping to beat Sandusky, though. A couple of calls going against Lorain in that fourth quarter, but Lorain still plenty of reasons to hold their head high heading into week 4 here. So what's coming up in week 4? Well, like I told you, our radio game on WEOL and on the website at Stream 1. It's Columbia at Firelands, and against a rematch of the top 2 teams from the Lorain County League just a season ago. Falcons looking for a little bit of payback here this season in 2023. In the SWC, we talked about it a little bit already. Midview at Amherst, that's our Stream 2 game on WEOL. 2 teams in the SWC, again, trying to prove themselves, get over that hump, prove they can compete with the big dogs in the conference. And our Medina County matchup on Stream 3, always a fun one in a small town battle here. It's Wellington at Black River. That one should be a lot of fun. And elsewhere, a couple couple of games that we didn't mention yet. Clearview at Keystone, another good Lorain County League team, or game I should say. Clippers are 2-1 on the season. Keystone a little vulnerable without Zach Shackelford right now, so we'll see what the Clippers are able to do there. And again, North Ridgeville looking to go 4-0, I should say, not 0-4, 4-0. If they can find a way to go to Olmsted Falls and knock off the Bulldogs, obviously a lot easier said than done. So again, Lorain County High School football season in full swing. Finally, we get conference action underway this week. Should be a lot of fun. So for Kristen Bauer behind the camera, I'm your host, Rocco Nushi, thanking you for listening to The Blitz, brought to you by our friends at First Federal Savings of Lorain. We'll see you guys next time.